what else did you expect?
Yeah, what else did you accept? If you treat people like animals, they will behave like animals, Piers.
So you accept they behave like animals?
Yeah, some of them did, yes. Some of them did, yes. Like, yeah,
I mean, there were 3,000 of them.
Yeah. Well,
entering
yes.
at 13 different points.
So 13,000, 3,000?
3,000 Hamas at 13 entry points.
So for that, you kill 50,000 people.
What you're about to watch is Piers Morgan, one of the most experienced interviewers on the planet, throwing argument after argument at Bassem Youssef, numbers, reports, historical facts, and Bassem just keeps coming. Every single time Piers thinks he has cornered him, Bassem flips it, turns it around, and fires it straight back. By the end of this clip, you're going to understand why this interview broke the internet and why Bassem Youssef became one of the most talked about voices in the world almost overnight. Stay with me.
I think it's like, we always ask what Israel should do, but we never ask what should the Palestinians do. Because, I mean, I know that there's like really great examples. I mean, there are some peaceful examples. There's a beautiful boy called Mido. He's 19 years old. He's an exchange student in Texas. And he was moved from one safe zone to the other, and he ended up into a safe zone, and he was farming. He had a beautiful, beautiful garden. And he was farming, and he was blogging about it. His mom died because of lack of medicine, but he continued to farm. And you know what happened to him? He was killed in an airstrike. You asked me about the Nelson Mandela, and there's a man called Ahmed Abu Trema. He was inspired by the civil rights movements and the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa, and he toured the churches and the schools and the colleges in the United States, and he came back, and Israel hit him in an airstrike, killing 5 of his family, including his son, and he was injured. If Palestinians march, they get killed. If they throw a stone at a tank, they get killed. If they sit at home quietly, someone will come in and take their home away, and they kill them. If someone just like picking up olives, that they will kill him. So what would that? And I don't know, like.
But it sounds to me like what you're doing, you're constructing.
That like I'm justifying October 7th, right?
No, I'm going to put words in your mouth, but it sounds to me like you're saying, what else did you expect?
Yeah, what else did you accept? If you treat people like animals, they will behave like animals, Piers.
So you accept they behave like animals?
Yeah, some of them did, yes. Some of them did, yes. Like, yeah,
I mean, there were 3,000 of them.
Yeah. Well,
entering at 13 different points.
So 13,000, 3,000?
3,000 Hamas at 13 entry
so
points.
So for that, you kill 50,000 people.
Well, they killed 1,200 people. They kidnapped over 250.
No. I said like Israelis, for that, they killed 50,000
Well, hang on.
people.
I'm about to give you the numbers as we now believe them. So 1,200 people were killed, of which 400 were believed to be military. Then you had nearly 7,000 more people who were wounded, many of them irrevocably badly. You had over 250 people kidnapped, including a baby who's never been returned, Holocaust survivors, grandparents, and so on. And my question is really, I'm not sure what you would have expected Israel to do, but more pertinently, what should they have done?
Well, I don't know, Piers, because...
But you've got to have some idea. You can't just say what you did is wrong.
Yeah.
You've got to have a thing of, given what happened to them, given that huge blow to their country and to their people, given that Hamas said we're going to keep doing this to you, what should Israel have done?
So let's nuke Gaza, right? I mean, that's like...
They haven't nuked Gaza.
They
could have done.
They have dropped bombs.
They could have done.
Yeah,
I mean, my argument to those who say it's genocide is, if they'd wanted to, Israel has the ability to blow up the whole of Gaza now. They haven't done that.
So...
If you really are genocidal, why wouldn't you do that?
If people are still around, it's not a genocide. If monkeys are still alive, how there's no...
Well, you have 2 million people residing in Gaza,
Yeah.
of which over 42,000 have been killed.
Yes. Yeah, okay. So what's...
Is that genocide after a year?
So what's the threshold?
Well, it's not. My point is that if you're waging genocide, Israel has the capability to kill all 2 million people very quickly.
How about too much killing? Is that good?
I think there has been too much killing.
Yeah. How about extreme
But I don't think it's a
termination of life?
I don't think it's a genocide.
I mean, if you don't like the G word, we can...
Yeah, but I don't think it's a genocide, is it?
We're wasting our time in definitions.
Well, we're not, because it's important, because what is genocidal is what Hamas has said they want to do to Israel.
What did they say to do?
They want to eradicate Israel.
Is according to their charter?
Yes.
Which charter?
Well, their original charter said that.
And then what happened in 2017?
Well, I'd rather go forward to what happened.
No. But what happened?
No, hang on.
Like because you're.
I know they rewrote the charter.
Yeah, but why don't you say that?
Because it's overtaken by what happened on October the 7th.
So it doesn't count?
No, because Bassem, because
I mean, you keep telling people as if this is the status quo.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying their original charter stated eradication of Israel, and the Hamas spokesman said after October the 7th. We want to keep doing this again and again and again. He said it on camera. That is an existential threat to all Israelis.
Well, there's a lot of horrible things that Israelis say on camera, Piers. But the only
I agree.
But the only difference is
And I criticise them
Israel,
too.
but Israel acts on it, and they have the power to do it.
But I've already
At the
told
end
you
of
that I
the-
believe that Ben-Gvir and Smodrich have used genocidal
It's not
language.
just them, Piers. It's not just them. And you know it's not just
No,
them.
I accept
it's,
them.
it's a whole apparatus,
They're
a
the
whole
two-
system.
Pause right here, because what you just watched in those first 4 minutes is Bassem doing something most people cannot do under pressure. He is not just answering Piers, he is reframing every single question. Piers asks about proportionality, Bassem flips it to power. Piers asks about genocide definitions, Bassem flips it to language and double standards. Piers asks about Hamas, Bassem flips it to the whole political system. That is not deflection, that is a debater who refuses to fight on his opponent's ground. And every time Piers thinks he has landed a punch, Bassem has already moved. But here's where it gets really interesting. Piers is about to change his strategy completely. Watch what happens next.
They're the two worst offenders in the government.
But the rest of the government is terrible.
Yeah, so my question is again, and I think it's an important one, is I get that you don't think they should have done this the way they've done it, Israel. But given they had to respond, how should they have responded? Because when they responded in a more precision way, and we can come to you, I know you don't agree with me about this, but I think you criticised Bill Maher for saying that what they did with Hezbollah was military success. Well, indisputably, from a military perspective, it was successful. They managed to be very precise in targeting 3,000 members of Hezbollah at the same time through pages. As an active military strategy, it was very effective. It did kill a lot of civilians as well.
Yeah,
and that's obviously
too bad, of course.
No, it is too bad. All civilian death is too bad. But my point is, if they had done that strategy in Gaza, where they had gone after Hamas through pages or whatever, I still think you would have said it was wrong.
Israel is the strongest part in this, and they have unlimited supply of money and power.
Yeah.
And as you say in superhero movies, with great power there's great responsibility. And the whole idea of like how could they respond, and then we sit there discussing this while Israel actually responding on a daily basis. By the time we finish this interview,
It's a valid question, isn't it? It's a valid question about how you think they should have done it differently, or you think they should have done nothing.
No, I didn't say that they said nothing. But
So if you assume they had to
Israel has the technology and the ability to do more surgical attacks than this. But to decimate a whole region, displacing 100% of the population, I don't think we.
I think it's wrong.
Good.
I agree with you.
Good.
I do.
Good. Now, it's not on me to decide to Israel what to do. Maybe Israel could check with itself and see what had led to that. Yes, what happened is terrible, but they need to discuss. But the thing is, there's a roadblock between us, Piers, because it seems that we are far apart of actually what happened on October 7th. And I know there's a lot of people here came and talk about what happened October 7th. I would like to have a chance to tell you what, from my point of view, what me and my people think. And
Tell me what you think happened.
So there are three big things that made the world accept what is happening now in Palestine. And they talk like, what will happen now? What can we get it? Three things. The story of the decapitated babies.
That was not true.
Good. So why didn't the Western media refute it? Why didn't they?
Well, it was refuted very quickly.
Really?
Yes.
But
very quickly.
How many times the Western media has used that media? Until today, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, is still repeating it. Until now, Benjamin Netanyahu.
It's not true.
I know, but it was.
But it has been discounted by the media.
No, not really.
It has.
Not really. And it didn't. And in the discounting and refuting, and I think when you have an apology or a retraction, it has to be.
Yeah, but I was accused of saying it. I never said it.
You said.
No, I didn't say it.
You said. It came to me as a revelation that I read about 40 murder babies. Some of them are decapitated.
Yeah, maybe in that. Yeah.
You said
which
that.
were early reports.
With John Collins.
Yeah.
Right.
Which were early reports.
I understand.
Which turned out not to be true.
I know, but like this. But you understand the shock, the initial shock that made the public turn a blind eye of what's happening. Like, I mean, if I was like a European, it's like, oh my God.
But I would throw back at you, Bassem, this. I don't know if you've seen all the GoPro camera footage from Hamas that they broadcast to the world, but I have seen a lot of it.
Me too.
And
I have them. I've seen them.
So I think splitting hairs, which is what I would call it, over the nature of the depravity, given the way that they openly boasted and gleefully conducted so much depravity, I just think it's a bit pointless. It's like, what's the point?
So let's talk
what you're
about
trying to say is, yes, they were barbaric. Yes, they were disgusting. They may not have done this precise thing, so therefore I give them a pass.
But that matters. I know what, because if I came here on your show and I told you 5 million children were slaughtered in Gaza, what would you tell me, Piers? Just like, no, there are only 16 or 17,000 people.
Facts matter.
Because facts matter.
And there it is. Bassem just used Piers' own logic against him. Piers spent the whole interview saying facts matter, numbers matter, evidence matters. And now Bassem is saying, okay, fine, then let's talk about the facts that your side got wrong first. That is a masterclass countermove. You take your opponent's strongest weapon and you turn it around in their hands. Piers is visibly recalibrating right now. But here's the thing. Piers came into this interview with something Bassem is not expecting, and it is sitting right there on the desk in front of him. Keep watching.
Yeah. Because here's the difference between...
But I told you I agree with you.
But here's the thing. The difference between killing children and decapitating babies, the image of decapitating a baby, that makes his
But kidnapping a baby is okay.
Never.
But they kidnapped a baby.
You see, that's you got coming down to it. You're coming back to like.
No, I'm saying what's the difference?
No, the difference is
you kidnap a baby and take it away from its family.
And you decapitate 40 babies. That's terrible, right? I mean, the thing is, both of them are terrible.
You're trying to, if you don't mind me saying, what you're trying to do is say, well, they weren't quite as medievally barbaric as that, but they did do this, and that's not as bad. And I'm saying to you, actually, it is as bad.
Yeah, one person
kidnapping a baby.
One person killed, one person kidnapped.
They did behead people.
Where?
On October the 7th.
When?
Multiple reports of beheadings.
Babies?
I didn't say babies. I said they did behead people.
Why would they?
Is beheading an adult worse or better than a baby?
Like, how many decapitated babies, Palestinians, have you seen already on television?
Yeah, way too many.
Yes.
Disgusting.
Yes. Again,
but I can say both are disgusting. Can you?
Yes.
You do?
Of course.
So you accept people were beheaded?
But again, media...
Do you accept people were beheaded on October the 7th?
I haven't seen anyone beheaded.
So no evidence of any...
I've never seen it.
What do you think happened then to all these people?
Oh, they were shot point blank. They were, some of them...
None were beheaded. You don't believe those reports?
I don't believe them, yeah.
Come on.
But like even in one or two, it's terrible, of course. But like, okay, you go in... I mean, I don't understand. Like, my point is, Piers, is that on October 7th, there's a lot of very, very sensational report that made people turn a blind eye of what's going on in Gaza. One of them is the beheaded babies, right?
But that was discounted so quickly.
No.
It was, I remember.
Well, so why is Mike Johnson still doing it and saying it like...
I've not seen him do that, but if he is, he's wrong.
Yeah, but many of them still. That is actually the narrative. That's the narrative. That's how we
I've not seen anyone in official...
So that's one thing. This is the decapitated. But the second thing, the Hannibal Directive. Low-key sat here in my chair, and you talked to him and you said... you read a piece of Hart saying that investigation if the IDF ordered Hannibal Directive to be used, adding that they didn't know how many soldiers were killed. But it was used. And then 2 minutes later, he said, like, there's a lot of documentation. And he said, like, I just read it to you. It's never happened. No, it happened, Piers. Now, in the same report that you quoted...
I did later in the interview tell him that I knew that there had been reports in Haaretz that had happened.
Yes, and there is another...
But just to be clear, that's not been admitted by the Israeli government.
Yeah, well,
I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Well, they're liars.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying I did say to Low-Key that there is reporting in Haaretz, which is one of the big Israeli media publications, that it had happened and that order had been given. It has been unequivocally denied by Israel.
Yeah,
that's my point.
I know, okay.
Right. But my point about what Hamas did is almost all of it is indisputable because they gleefully broadcast it to the world. These things are not up for debate. They went house to house.
I never denied it, and I'm not defending it.
So trying to equivocate with
I'm not equivocating.
The scale of the barbarity.
No, the scale is important. The scale is important because if you came to today, first of all, the original number was 1,400. It was down now to 1,200, and then it down to 1,129. That is the final official number. One baby was killed, Mila Cohen, 10 months old,
and one kidnapped.
One kidnapped.
Right.
All right, and 12 kids were killed between the age of 1 to 9, and 36 were killed between 9 and
but you don't believe that.
Right, here's where Bassem does something genuinely impressive. Most people in a debate this heated would be rattled by now. But Bassem stays precise. He brings exact numbers, exact ages, exact names, because his argument was never just emotional, it was always built on data. And that discipline is exactly what makes him so hard to argue against. Every time Piers pushes, Bassem comes back with something concrete, something specific, something that forces Piers to engage with the detail rather than the headline. That is not just debating, that is dismantling an argument brick by brick. Now, I want to hear from you. Was there a moment in this clip where you thought Piers finally had him? Or did Bassem have an answer for absolutely everything? Drop it in the comments because this debate genuinely has people split right down the middle. If this breakdown was worth your time, drop a like. It helps more than you know. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one.